Hey guys, welcome back. Today you may see a little something different in my video title, and it's regarding a YouTube user. After I go over that, we're going to look at the Old Weathered Barn by Woodland Scenics. It's a built-up structure, MSRP $94.99, but you can find discounts out there, brick and mortar hobby shops and online retailers, so you can get their prices down into the 70s, sometimes in 80s and such. But let me get to the user ID, Sparky107107. So a few of you guys may know or may not know, there's a YouTube user and video producer out there named Sparky107107. Very, very nice guy. He does model railroad videos. He has a decent little following of a few hundred folks that subscribe and everything. And I was one of the folks that kind of watched his videos progress on. And, you know, he had a nice layout forming. Very, very similar situation to mine. Layout was forming in the basement. And, you know, we've got these windows in the basement that we're concerned about. But in his case, tragedy actually struck and water came rushing in that window one day when a really poorly designed city planned sewage system, or not sewage system, but drainage system backed up and busted through that window and covered his basement in several feet of water. So you think the priority would be trains? Okay, let's replace trains because that's what got destroyed. His air conditioner got taken out in the mix. Tens of thousands of dollars to replace that because they have to upgrade the system, which I just did in my air conditioner recently to the new refrigerant. So mine didn't prompt a flood, but as you can see, that's tens of thousands of dollars that was not planned for, you know, an actual something that was budgeted or anything. And really, there's nothing he did wrong. I mean, he, other than living where he lives, which is no fault of anybody's, he didn't, you know, run out in the street and get hit by a car, hypothetically. It wasn't any action of his that flooded his basement. So in situations where something completely blindsides somebody, and they've been very active on my channel and I am aware of this situation, I would like to address it. So with that said, if you guys would consider going to paypal.me/Sparky107107, he's taking monetary donations. I'm not just preaching here. I've actually donated myself, and I've got a friend donating this week. So it's something that really blindsided him. He's exhausting and will exhaust his savings plus several $1,000s to do it. And I think as somebody that watches my channels and somebody that's in our community, we kind of take care of each other, because at the end of the day, if we're not a community, we're just guys that play with trains. And, you know, that's cool too, but there's a sense of ownership here. So please consider that. And again, I've done that myself as well, so I hope you will too consider. In the comments, I will put the link, so it's very easily accessible and clickable. Click on the link to go to the PayPal donation site, put in an amount. If you're a PayPal person already, then you're good to go. It takes minutes. The biggest problem I had was converting Canadian to US. So it does it for you down below, but I was like, this is less than I thought it was, because so anyway, just go ahead and consider that, please. Now we'll move on to the review of the Old Weathered Barn by Woodland Scenics. Again, MSRP $94.99. We'll get it unboxed, take a look, and put it on the layout starting next. Alright, I've removed the staples on the four corners. You lift the lid off and the Old Weathered Barn comes right off there. We'll take a look at some detail here up close. So we're going to look at some detail on this quickly. On the front you have window detail, like cracks in the window. This is about the only door that's actually on the hinges. Everything else is off. It's an Old Weathered Barn, and that's the purpose. You've got separation in the siding, the wood siding here, in a couple different locations. You've got this door off the hinges with a pulley and a rope going into the door. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? You can pretty much use your imagination there. Got more window detail here, this unloading or loading area here with wood beams showing through from a roof collapse, partial roof collapse. You've got siding missing here, you've got a door here, window tucked away there, some really nice roof detail where it's missing shingles. You've got the silo itself here where it's got concrete ribbing where that would be poured, and then some gashes and marks over time where farm equipment's hit it or the like. You've got a panel up top on the silo roof, and on the actual silo body itself it's a little hard to tell, but there's windows as well here and here. Got this door off the hinges, you have this door off the hinges, and you have this door off the hinges. Now people have asked on the review request, I noticed a couple people had asked, do the doors move? And if I could mention that on the review, they do not move. And that's probably because they're off the hinges and moving them would make no sense. But anyway, it's a good way to kind of imagine the scene here. Another thing you have is the siding popping out and warping both this way and having gaps side by side. So there's some warpage there with gaps where it's, you know, kind of shaped, U-shaped, where the panels are raising up on ends. You've got foundation detail. You have more windows along this edge, and you can really tell several panels are warping here. Again, in this case, warping's good because that's the weathered effect already done for you. And really at this level of detail to do in person with somebody that's very good at kits would take hours, if not days. So it's a nice value. You've got the weather vane up top here, also with kind of a funky angle to it, showing its long-standing use. And you have more panels warped all the way around and windows. The really nice detail is definitely on the roof as well, with the shingles missing and gaps in the roof and just worn off areas where weather has done its thing and time has done its thing to this barn. We're going to go ahead and move to the layout. I'm going to show you a blank scene, then I'm going to put the barn in there and kind of show you how it comes to life. So what you see here is a very plain scene just on the curve of my layout. You've got a backdrop up, photo backdrop, nothing else, just some basic Woodland Scenics turf down on the ground area and the backdrop, and that's it. So you see how plain that is, but then when you add something as detailed as this, it really brings it to life. You know, and obviously you don't want to just drop in a structure. If you have time and talent and money, you can add all the different things in that would make this that much more incorporated. Figures, more plants, or a cornfield, small cornfield, things like that. But you can tell just how well it has added into the scene there and made the scene better. Here's a different scene, or different angle, I should say, of the same scene, where the barn is looking at the camera almost head on. Again, the barn being the focal point, it really brings the scene together. You know, you could easily make a scene even as a background of the scene. You know, when you have trains running by, the barn is a nice touch. It really, especially if the focus is more on the actual trains running by, then, you know, people are going to instantly see the level of detail on that scene and say, wow, that barn is, you know, that back scene is really set, whether you actually set it or not. Adding a few trees, you know, can do a lot, but we'll just add a few here just to see, you know, what it does. But, you know, you can blend things in like that and make it nicely done too. So, and just so you have perspective of an actual scale of trains here, the furthest track away, I'm just gonna run by a piece of rolling stock. The tree's in the way, but you get my point. So you can see how that basically kind of that scene is almost instantly set there. So real good job by Woodland Scenics on the detail of this, saving modelers time by doing all the work at the factory. Well, that wraps up the review of the Woodland Scenics Old Weathered Barn. That's an HO scale. It's a built-up kit, but they also offer a lot of kits that you can do yourself for a cheaper price as well. So check out woodlandscenics.com for all the different types of basically built-up structures they offer and kits they offer. This one is very nicely done. As you saw, I set a basic scene, dropped in a few trees, and it looks like an almost completed scene, or even without the trees, because of the detail on that barn. The siding really got me, how they got the warp siding and all that detail. I don't know how you mass produce something like that, but it was very nicely done. The weather vane being a little crooked. Everything indicated this barn had been around for a few years, probably a few hundred years. So it's pretty cool to see that artistry brought to the market, to where if you don't have talents like I don't, you can just purchase it, place it on your layout, and pretty much forget it. So again, the other thing is, don't forget, please consider supporting Sparky107107. Again, we're looking at monetary needs for him because trains kind of took a backseat to actual huge financial crises there. So please check out the comments section where I've got the link. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.